Here's a superhero roll call for you. We're talking Shazam 2. We've got the Black Adam movie. On top of that, I see some Captain Marvel on that screen because she's got a new clip from Endgame out. And then, oh my God, so much Suicide Squad. They got cut off, but it was Idris Elba, and it was also Viola Davis. Wow, we got a lot to cover. I filled them in. They deserved their screen time right there. It was a very long roll call. Haleigh, Jay, welcome back to the set. How you guys doing today?
I'm good. I'm happy to be here again.
You always are.
Yeah, because
you're happy to be here. You're live streaming before we start without giving us any warning.
That's how you're supposed to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Just catch them just like, oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, but then they ain't say anything, so we're good. But no, I always love being on here with you too because it's a great conversation and a lot of energy and passion and fun.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
You feeling it today, Haleigh?
Of course.
We're with that super cool jacket that I'm jealous of.
Oh, thanks.
How badass is that jacket?
A little Star Wars anniversary jacket.
Gearing
All
up
right.
for a little Star Wars celebration that we're going to have so much content for you guys. Just wait for it. We're going to have all the Star Wars coverage right here beginning on Friday, which is day one of Star Wars Celebration 2019. It's going to be crazy. But right now we got a whole bunch of news to get to. And of course, every Monday we kick it off with a box office report. So, of course, Shazam took that top spot. It wound up opening up with $53.4 million. And not only did the movie make a lot of money, and it also has a great critical response, but now it's got an A on Cinema Score, which is always a nice sign for weekend 2 and beyond. As for Pet Sematary, as expected, that one opened up at number 2, and it took $25 million, a solid start for that one this week. The thing is, that one posted a C+ Cinema Score, so we're about to dig into a pretty interesting conversation right now. So Haleigh, I'll go to you first on this. Given all of the numbers and the stats I just listed, what do you foresee happening for Shazam and Pet Sematary in weekend 2?
Well, I think, Shazam's in the clear basically now. With their international worldwide totals, they already recouped their reported budget because New Line made this on a mid-budget superhero film. They're solid. I think they're going to continue to make money, and they've got 2 weeks before Endgame, is that right?
Yeah.
So they're fine. They're going to clean up, especially because they're coming up against Hellboy, which we kind of talked about last time isn't something that's got a lot of buzz around it, you might say. And then there's Fast Color, which is also sort of a superhero type movie, but nobody's heard of it.
Yeah, this is the first time
I could see it in your face. You're like, what's that?
Yeah, it's the first time I heard
Yeah, so Shazam's
I think it
gonna
actually
be fine.
has 3 weekends.
Oh, 3 weekends.
I was like doing the math in my head, and it's like I can't. But it goes Hellboy, La Llorona, and then I didn't know what the next one was. Apparently, these are Wednesday number. Apparently, Breakthrough and Penguins open up on Wednesday. The way the box office Mojo listed out is for whatever reason the Friday openings are listed, and then the Wednesday early openings are after it.
Gotcha.
So 2 weeks, it's going to make a lot more money, especially a Cinema Score. Cinema scores aren't the be-all, end-all of anything, but they certainly point to legs.
They're useful tools when it comes to box office predictions because usually the higher scores do mean lower weekend 2 drop-offs. I am very concerned about Pet Sematary.
Yeah.
Everybody out there knows I'm a huge fan of that movie, and just because somebody else doesn't like it doesn't change how I feel. I don't judge them for not liking it, but I can't say I'm all that surprised that it wound up with that C+ Cinema Score because it's not really a crowd pleaser. I think it's a great movie, and I think it digs into those themes of mortality really well, but it's not necessarily something that leaves you with a pep in your step when you walk out the door.
Sure, and it's not a movie that caters to the original diehard fans. The film, as they revealed in trailers, takes a lot of bold swings with the source material, which kind of can alienate fans of the original material. I'm with Perri. I like it quite a lot, but I think this is, we're going to see a pretty hefty drop-off in week 2, and it's unfortunate, but it's also not, because it already is the second highest grossing Stephen King movie of all time. Granted, the leap between 20-something and 120-something is pretty significant, but it already, sort of made that record for itself, did pretty well, and I have a feeling that it's going to do okay next weekend. My big concern is running into La Llorona, which may have got worse reviews, but is a huge franchise that is sort of household known, as opposed to Pet Sematary, which already has this middling buzz on it now after the first weekend.
Where do you land on the box office, Jay?
Shazam and Hellboy. Yeah, Shazam will keep its money going. Hellboy will be the only competition per se. And we've talked about it. There isn't much real push and buzz behind it. So that competition dies. Pet Sematary, I haven't seen it yet. I heard a lot of negative things about it. And I'm not one to let that influence me, but I've heard nothing but negative. Like, if you like the original, you won't like this. And so that is, like you said earlier, that alienates some fans. Dumbo doing what Dumbo done. Say that 3 times fast. Dumbo doing what Dumbo's done. It's basically not profitable as they thought it would be. Everybody thought you bring in live action Dumbo. Disney is taking these chances now with their live action films. So you bring back Dumbo, a classic. Everybody's like, oh, we got Dumbo. Then people start seeing it and they're like, oh, that was Dumbo. And now we're looking on next to Aladdin and then The Lion King. So to see how those fall suit.
I've got some faith in Lion King still. I don't know. Aladdin might be a little wobbly in my book. We're going to get to that, though. Turning it back to Shazam a little, because with Shazam having a huge opening weekend, we had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson take to Instagram to, one, congratulate the team behind Shazam, which includes him, because he was actually a producer on the film as well, I believe. But he also dropped a little something about the Black Adam movie, and he said that they should start shooting it in about a year. So there's that. But now that's not all. We also just had a report drop right before we started taping that we've got the Wrap reporting that screenwriter Henry Gayden, who also penned Shazam, is going to return for the movie's sequel. And they also say that the filmmaking team of David F. Sandberg and Peter Safran are expected to return as well. They don't say in what capacity, though. So for all we know, Sandberg will move to, I don't know, some sort of producerial capacity. I hope that's not the case. But so now we have a potential timeline for Black Adam, and we also have Shazam 2 moving forward. Which do you think we're going to get first?
I think we'll get Shazam 2 because I think that'll open the door to Black Adam. Like you said, they already set it up in the first Shazam movie. In the very beginning, it's talking about Black Adam. I think with the Mr. Mind and everything going forward for Shazam 2, the next will be unearthing Black Adam. And then that'll set up his solo film as to play the catch-up. Unless they want to do Black Adam first and have him be the bad guy, but he's supposed to be an anti-hero now. So unless you want to do Black Adam first, then go to Shazam 2. It's a couple of ways you can do this. Of course, it's 50-50, but it depends on how they want to structure it. I
was surprised when I saw that video that he posted when he said, because it's not even like he said, oh, we're shooting it in a year from now. We're shooting it April 2020. It was like, I think we're shooting it. It sounded like a little wishy-washy. So I'm like, oh, that's weird. After Shazam was so successful right out the gate, I thought that they would have, pushed forward faster on that. So that was kind of getting me a little confused. Then all of a sudden the news dropped about Shazam 2, and I'm like, oh, maybe they're going to move forward with that faster, fast track that, because also The Rock is a very busy guy. Maybe they will fast track that, and then when The Rock frees up, then it'll be Black Adam.
Well, it's the same thing with, I'm sorry, Haleigh. It's like the same thing with Aquaman. Remember at first, once they did those numbers, Aquaman 2's happening, and then we got told we're getting the Trench spinoff. So I think it's sort of the same type of deal. They're, of course, like, yeah, the sequel to the movie is coming. That's a guarantee. Now, how long it takes for them to go into production and, bring all the cast back is a whole nother situation.
Another thing that actually just crossed my mind is they have the pressure to get Shazam 2 going fast because those kids are only going to stay kids for so long.
There's a whole host of factors as well. We just touched on 3 of them. There's also the matter of budgets, which I would assume that a Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film is going to have a much bigger budget, whereas we saw with this, as we talked about briefly, they made it a mid-budget superhero movie, which then they can roll into faster probably if they're planning to stay on that same. Yeah. If they just got a win out of that budget, so why would they then boost it up a huge bunch?
We saw that with Deadpool 2, remember?
Exactly.
And we saw what happened with the film, how people would see it. It was like, why did you do that?
Yeah, I think that they're gonna play it smart, follow up on this buzz that they've got, follow the formula that they just saw work for them. We all know that New Line, through their horror efforts, has no problem turning out sequels pretty quickly. The Conjuring franchise is a well-oiled machine at this point. So I would put my money on Shazam 2 first, and above all, because Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is so freaking busy.
Yeah.
You just can't get Dwayne Johnson quickly. Even though he's been attached to this project for years and years and years, he's always attached to 15 things, and it's a matter of which one actually solidifies first.
But I think Black Adam for him is this thing he's been wanting.
Right.
And I understand, once he got involved in the Fast and Furious franchise, that took over. No one expected Jumanji to be what it was. So, of course, he had to hurry and film the sequel to that. And he's had these other films. Yes, he's busy, but I think he wants this now more because of the success of Shazam. You would definitely want this to go forward. He's been talking, he wants to be this superhero. You get to be it in a sense. Go for it. You can put these other projects on a back burner that aren't requiring that much attention yet, because everything we know that Dwayne Johnson is attached to, we know is coming out. We know what he's doing. We know he's already working on them. We haven't heard of anything separate yet, and I don't think he would let this keep going, because at some point, nobody's going to care. If it gets to the point where we start going 2-3 more years and we still don't have a Black Adam movie, at this point it's like, don't do it, or have somebody else play him.
I don't know if I would go that far just yet. I think maybe it's because it's been drilled in my head for so long, and because, especially as someone who doesn't know the source material too well, it's like I've been picturing Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam for a little while, and I really want to see that movie. But like, I kind of hear what you're saying, just with how much, let's say, just in my personal case, I fell in love with Shazam.
Right.
I've got no problem waiting for Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam movie, because I am beyond thrilled that there is Shazam 2 in the works right now.
I can see that, but it's just, how long are we willing to wait on something we've been hearing about for so long? And I get it. It's The Rock. I get it. So I
have a feeling that many out there will be willing to wait for quite a while, especially if Shazam 2 comes out and it's as good as the first one.
Fair.
Also, without getting into any spoilers right now, obviously they're setting up a little bit of a connectivity here. So I think they've got time to maybe even build on that a little more before they loop him in. And then on top of that, I mean, just think of all the upcoming DC movies we have to look forward to. It's like, before we know it, our attention could be completely diverted by another big hit for them. So it's not like they have a lack in material coming our way.
And we got James Gunn's Suicide Squad, so that takes a lot of focus.
I wish that was a really good transition, but that's our third story for today. So we're gonna.
I'm just saying, it just happened. It just.
I know.
I mean, it just in the DC room, just talking about it when you just said the different things they've got coming out to keep your attention.
I see where your mind's at, Jay.
See where
I like
okay.
it. I like it, but I have to completely turn us in the opposite direction,
no problem.
and I have to go to Marvel right now, because we just got our very first clip from Avengers Endgame, and it seems like it was the one that was debuted at CinemaCon, I believe. We were actually talking about it on the show very recently, and now we got to see it for ourselves. This is the clip where the group is all together and they're basically introducing Captain Marvel's role in the group, and she's saying we have to go after Thanos, and Rhodes is asking, where she's been all this time. So this clip semi gives us the answer to that question, what she's been up to and why she hasn't jumped in when they might have, needed her help in the past. So Jay, first up with you, does this clip do it for you in terms of that specific answer? Did what they say satisfy you as far as where has Captain Marvel's been all this time?
Yeah, it answers that question real quick and easy. Like Brody said, we've been about this superhero life. Where have you been all this time? It's other universes that needed saving, and unfortunately, they don't have you. That's it. That's how you address it, and you move forward. Instead of having some long, drawn-out story, we just know this is what she's done, now she's here. And you focus on what you need to go forward with. I'm good with that.
Yeah, it was a pretty satisfying answer to me, too. And I think it also came down to her delivery of the line. I feel like it worked. And there was a little bit of, I don't know if I would say heart, but there was like earnestness behind it, where when she said that, I believe that she's like, really, like, unfortunately, other planets don't have people like you out there. So someone has to help him. I believed it. And that, I think, is the main reason why it worked for me.
I like it. I think it's sort of like you said, easy, done, boom. We don't really need more than that. And if we do want more than that, great. They can make those movies. Where has Captain Marvel been? That's a perfect opportunity for them to not tell us a story that they could be banking for a future film.
And expand the cosmic realm a little bit, too. Yeah. I wouldn't mind playing with that more.
I also like that they said, that Black Widow says in the very beginning, he's used the stones again.
Yeah.
Because when you remember at the end of Infinity War, the gauntlet is burned out. Now, granted, that doesn't mean the stones are, but it looks like how did he has to have another gauntlet formed in this whole time, because that one looks like it doesn't work. The one from the end of Infinity War. But we also saw on Nidavellir where the gauntlet mold is. So he could have gone back and had to make another mold, make another gauntlet. So those different things happen. But you get those little basic answers that keep rolling. Remember, basically, Peter Dinklage's character. He's the one who made the gauntlet. The mold was there to make another one. So Thanos could have had, hey, go make me another one.
My question is, would that character do that again, having seen what happened when he built the first one and how his people were? Why wouldn't he just kill himself? I mean, like, you take a character that was honorable and you turn him into kind of a villain if he builds him another gauntlet.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, hey, you have reality, so you can change everything and make him see.
I guess.
I mean, there's so many different possibilities.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with you that there should be an answer to how that was accomplished.
Right.
But I just hope they don't throw that character under the bus.
Yeah, Peter Dinklage with no hands, just like, I'm trying to
Poor dude's been through enough.
Is there anything from the source material where the stones could have another housing?
No, there actually
Other than the Infinity Gauntlet?
I don't remember anything else holding them but the gauntlet. If I'm not mistaken now, the chat and Twitter might correct me, but as offhand, I can't think of anything else but the gauntlets.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if there's like another piece to the puzzle that we just haven't seen yet, because I know a bunch of people had pointed out that when we got that last trailer, that was the first time we saw Thanos in like all of his armor. So I wonder if, I don't know, maybe it's built into that in some capacity if there isn't another gauntlet or this one isn't repairable.
Or, yeah, that's the other thing. It could be repaired. Like maybe he takes it to another galactic shop where he's like, fix this, and then he kills all their people.
A galactic blacksmith, like, hey man, looking at your services real quick.
Yeah, I don't know how many are out there. I've never been there.
he just calling galactic blacksmiths. Hey, you open today? Yeah, I got to bring something in real
quick.
Look
it up on Yelp. See what the best one is.
Checking out Thanos checking Yelp reviews on blacksmiths.
Yeah.
This one, oh well, half his people are dead. He's not doing this at all.
Do you guys think we're going to get more clips before the release of the movie at this point?
I pray to God we don't. I don't want any more. Just leave. This is it. Let it be.
I suspect we're going to get one.
I know we are, but I'm like, I don't want it.
I have a feeling it's going to be the other half of the CinemaCon footage.
Okay,
that's what I would think. Also,
sense.
Because we know that at the recent press junket, they did screen 10 minutes of the film, so I imagine there's going to come a time where maybe they write that up, and the public will hear about that anyway, so the release of that footage, like, why not?
Maybe.
If this is CinemaCon, yeah.
I would just say, knowing Disney's marketing techniques, there's no way we're not getting more clips. We're going to get a couple more clips. We're going to get a bombardment of TV spots.
Yes.
A bombardment of posters. It's just the same thing they do every time. So as much as I would like to not see anything else, I know that's very unlikely.
It's crazy how we're going to get that, and it feels so unnecessary. Like, do you think any of that is going to make a difference with whether or not someone goes to see this movie?
Maybe your grandma would have forgotten or something. I don't know.
Nana's not seeing this movie. Nana wants to see Pet Sematary. Let's clear that up right now.
I just mean, like, I mean not necessarily your grandma. I mean that in the sense that there are people in this world like us who are going to see it no matter what.
Right.
But there are also people I know in my family who would be like, oh, that's coming up. Right. That sounds cool. And then they will forget immediately unless they see it on TV the week before and go, oh, right, I did want to see that.
And also, it's smart how Disney, too, is on top of that, as well as with their marketing. They're only using the alive people. Like, no Tom Holland, no Chadwick Boseman, no Benedict Cumberbatch.
Well, Chadwick Boseman has been given the I'm dead answer.
Yeah, he's literally like, he's like, I'm dead.
I don't know, I'm
really
dead.
Enjoying those clips from CinemaCon.
It's like, I'm dead. Like he was like Marshawn Lynch. I'm just here so I won't get fined. I'm dead. And that's how you're supposed to do it, though. That's how you keep the mystique up of the movie. Because we know, they come. We know everyone's filmed. We know, they come back. We don't know how. We don't know what happens at the end. But you just use that batch that you have to do all the press. It's perfect.
They definitely have a good group there. It was really exciting. See, normally I don't care about this stuff that much, I think, because I have the luxury of getting to go to a junket every once in a while. But seeing everybody post pictures of that whole group on that stage, I mean, it really does feel very, very final and very special. So,
well, it is something we've been building to for 10 years, and it's something that I think a lot of us have a nostalgic attachment to that original cast, and a nostalgic attachment that when you think of nostalgia a lot, you think of something far gone, already lost, but this is something that we're nostalgic about that's still a part of our lives as well, which is a powerful combination.
It's like an inevitable end of a phase that we know is coming our way, and it's you can feel like sentimental. Sentimental. I think I was trying to combine two words again. It wasn't even a Spoonerism. That was no fun. The sentimental vibe is like in the air so strong right now. And we're going to keep it alive. We're going to keep it alive all the way through to Avengers Endgame when it opens up. And I'll tell you guys right now, if you want some Endgame content, we got it for you on this channel. There is so much up already, and we have more videos in the works coming your way very soon. But the time has come in the show to let you know that we are taking your live Twitter questions at the very end. Send them in right now. Use the hashtag Collider Movie Talk. Short, sweet, unique. That's it. It's that simple. Thank you, guys. All right, story number 3. We're diving into Suicide Squad territory for this one. So, first up, we recently reported that Idris Elba was stepping in for Will Smith to play Deadshot in the movie. However, now it looks like that's not the case anymore. Variety is reporting now that it remains unknown who Elba is going to play in the movie, but that everybody involved felt it was the right move for him not to play Deadshot. They didn't want to disrespect Will Smith by giving his character to someone else, and since he left the Suicide Squad because of scheduling reasons, rather than creative differences, that then leaves the door open for Will Smith's Deadshot to return in a future installment. On top of that, we also have The Wrap reporting that Viola Davis will be back as Amanda Waller, and there's also another rumor floating around out there saying that Joel Kinnaman might be back as Rick Flag as well. So basically, to recap here, that means we could have Kinnaman, Davis, Elba, Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn, Jai Courtney's Captain Boomerang, and new characters including Peacemaker and King Shark all in the cast. Oh my, and we have to wait until August 6, 2021 to see this thing. Oh boy. Haleigh, what do you think happened with the Deadshot conversation? Is it as reported in the news right now?
That sounds viable. I mean,
I would believe it.
First of all, there's a lot going on in there of reasons why, all of which sound credible. I think that maybe disrespecting Will Smith might be something that was not considered as heavily as it should have been by the folks involved. It could be that they realized they still wanted Deadshot, though that sounds less likely to me. If they were already in the hiring phase of going like, we were moving on to this actor, it sounds more likely to me that there was a realization that maybe that wasn't gonna be the best way to handle someone who had been in their family, so to speak, before.
I do find it a little strange that there wasn't some sort of contractual obligation to keep the character of Deadshot for Will. Like, it could have been just like a mistake, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like he would have had that character written and signed on a document somewhere where it's not even just about knowing better, it's like there should be legal reasons why they can't recast that role.
It's very surprising. I mean, we don't know the details of any of the contracts that were signed, so it could have something to do with changing filmmaker, means that the bylaws of the contract were changed or something like that. We don't know exactly what they signed on to, but it does seem a strange conflict to run into after the fact.
Yeah, after you make that big announcement.
Yeah.
That was like, everybody's like, okay, Idris Elba's Deadshot. Okay, cool, we accepted it. And then they were like, nah, it's kind of not. I really hope, though, this is my hope of who Idris Elba is. As God is my witness, I'm gonna look directly to this camera. If you tell me Idris Elba is King Shark, I'm buying a theater, which means if I have to get a payday loan for $10,000, I'm renting a theater. I want to see Idris Elba as King Shark. I think that would be so amazing.
I guess the fact that Idris Elba was originally cast as Deadshot and King Shark was announced earlier, I'm like, I feel like, because now I'm feeling like King Shark is a smaller role, whereas Deadshot would have been the bigger role, so maybe he's a different character entirely.
Well, it's hard to say what it's going to be, because at first we were told the focus is on the new characters.
Yeah.
So also with bringing back these old characters, they could, minus Harley Quinn, they could be dying off quick.
Right.
Because I really want them to just shoot Rick Flag in the face and call it a day. Like, you can shoot Rick Flag in the face. You can leave Captain Boomerang locked up. Sorry, Jai Courtney. I understand.
Reject that.
Yeah.
Completely.
Sorry, you're going to lose that battle at the table.
I bet I will. But you're going to move on. You're going to build the squad. And that's what the Suicide Squad is. Task Force X has always been new villains brought together. You don't always have to have the same ones. You can keep a few. Again, you have your Harley Quinn. You have Amanda Waller at the helm. You don't have Deadshot. and you just go forward from there.
I would have bet that Deadshot would have been one of the ones that they had kept.
That it kept, yeah.
But maybe not. And apparently it could be really easy to rewrite that or rework it.
Well, it's kind of fascinating, too, because as you mentioned, they're probably not going to stick around very long.
Yeah.
But there was an interesting quote from Peter Safran, the producer, who said it's a total reboot. So, like, this casting news on the heel of that quote, I was expecting a couple people to maybe come back, but then bringing back almost the entire Suicide Squad, but calling it a total reboot, makes me very curious about the mentality of how these films are being approached and sort of the aftermath
really
of
weird.
Suicide
It's
Squad.
very weird.
It's weird. I still feel like when he uses the phrase total reboot, now I just wanted to say recall. Total
Recall.
reboot. It's because of like story connectivity issues. I think
new
they're
characters.
trying to like firmly place out there that even if something happened in the first Suicide Squad movie, we're not going to necessarily honor story details. Like to basically like set them free from a creative perspective.
I think if in order for them to do a reboot, you just don't have to mention one thing. Do not mention the Enchantress. Call it a day. I'm serious. I mean, that's the basic part you don't have to mention. Harley is going to be part of it as well as on her own thing with Birds of Prey. So we'll see how that plays out. Does she leave the squad? Because she's already, she doesn't have the chip, so they can't blow up her head. So how do you do that? You have her for a moment, Birds of Prey or whatever. Then you have, because Birds of Prey will come out first. So does she get captured in Birds of Prey and go back to the squad? It's those little bitty things, but it's not a reboot. That makes no sense because you can't say you're bringing all these people back and like, yeah, it's a reboot. Like, what is this, Ghostbusters? Like, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's a curious phrase.
Do you think we're going to get more people coming back from the first movie? And if so, who would you want?
I already got mine. I can't even pronounce his damn name, but the brother that played Killer Croc, he needs redemption to not be as bad as it was. Because if he ever say, not me, shorty, I'm beautiful, I wanted to shoot myself in the face. And then when they asked what did he want, he was like, BT. I was like, I hate you, David Ayer, for writing that in the script. So I want him to be able to be, he's menacing, but don't make him that way. You don't have to do that. Give the character some level of redemption. He doesn't even have to stay in the squad, and you don't have to kill him off. Just give him enough to be as menacing as Killer Croc is. Send him on his way. Leave him for future DC movies.
Let him not be a total stereotype.
Let him not be a complete stereotype, because that's exactly what he was, a full stereotype. Reboot that, if anything.
I did get my wish in Captain Boomerang, and as did you, but I wouldn't mind seeing Jay Hernandez return.
Sure, that also maybe is a character that could use a little redemption according to some of the reactions I read from within the Latino community. So I would be down for that. But really the one I was rooting for was definitely Captain Boomerang, and I am a little bit sad that a lot of people seem to think he's going to be killed off really fast.
No.
I
wanted
enjoy
Captain
him.
Boomerang and Amanda Waller.
Yeah, those were
Done.
mine too. They're back, and I think he has really nice chemistry with Harley, and like they got good Aussie vibes going on.
I get that. What makes Captain Boomerang so unique beside a boomerang with a GoPro?
His vibe is what made me
and a pink unicorn
enjoy him.
Well,
no, that's
that pink unicorn will make anybody unique.
I like the energy he brings to it as a sort of really goofy, unpredictable member that could, I like a guy who pops a beer in combat. Sue me.
This is true. No, I will agree with you on that one. There's nothing wrong with that.
I also feel like we hadn't really seen him go like kooky crazy before. And I feel like Jai Courtney has way more range than anybody gives him credit for.
Jai bless. Absolutely.
Jai bless. Hashtag Jai bless forever.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on to our next story on the highest note ever. This last one we've got for you today is a brand new trailer, and it's for the Fox movie Stuber. It is a buddy action comedy starring Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista. It follows an Uber driver named Stu who picks up an LAPD officer in the middle of a hunt for a killer. This movie hits theaters on July 12th. Haleigh, did this trailer do anything for you, especially hot on the heels of some positive reactions at South by Southwest to the work in progress screening?
Yeah, it was. Those reactions were interesting. They were like a mixed positive, I would say, but and I see that in the trailer. Like, I have a mixed positive reaction to this trailer in that there's There are some comedy beats in it that made me chuckle when I watched it last night at home, but there was a lot of it that felt sort of outmoded and very old school, and not in the way where you see something like, you know, Hot Fuzz, for example, where it's doing the old school things in a new way. This just felt very much like we are just playing by a 1990s playbook, but making it comedy. So I'm not sure. We'll see. I love both of those actors, and I think they could have really good chemistry, although that's not necessarily what came through in the trailer. I will say that there were two parts that definitely made me giggle, so I will give it that benefit.
I think I'm on the same page. I feel like the movie feels very dated with the Uber jokes in particular. And I was telling you guys before, the one joke that made me laugh out loud was something like super low tech. It was the stuff at the end of the trailer where he speaks into the phone and it blasts on the loudspeaker. But I think what's still keeping me firmly into the idea of seeing Stuber when it comes out is the two of them. I'm never going to say no to a movie with Kumail and Dave Bautista. Ever.
First of all, shouts out to Kumail being from Chicago, so I'm always going to support the home team. Shouts out to Dave Bautista for a great job just getting back in the ring at WrestleMania 35 as brother been in the ring. You and I get you on that. But however, this does seem really dated. This does seem like the old 90s comedies. But I did say this. It feels like an Instagram sketch that somebody stretched out. It just feels like that. I mean, the concept is like nothing brand new that you would hear. Like you said, dated Uber jokes. This seems like, I mean, I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. Don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to go in with an open mind and an open heart. But like, how much do we see of this just being in the Uber, him picking up rides until it gets old? You know, then he becomes a detective at the end, or a deputy or a cop or something like this behind it, because you can see where it goes. So unless it just completely spins everything on his head after with more clips and, you know, more trailers, I'm like, I'll see it, but we'll see.
I'm also a little like, I had this as a movie that I was pretty excited about this year, just based off the combo of the actors, and also Natalie Morales, who we love from Santa Clarita Diet.
Yes, indeed. She is amazing in Santa Clarita Diet.
That show is amazing.
Yes, it is.
Let's just give another plug right now to Santa Clarita Diet. If you are not watching it, you are missing out.
Absolutely. But specifically, Bautista, it's just not like a character I was hoping to see him play. Again, it feels sort of old school and very like harping on his machismo and all these sort of cliche types of badass role things that I've enjoyed him more subverting in his career than leaning into.
And I think that's what they're doing with this. They're like, we're going to play to his strengths. Was his strength his machismo role, the look? Again, they made him dumbed down for the Drax character, but it still plays on those same things. Even in, what was the one with the hotel that he was just in?
Hotel Artemis.
Yeah, Hotel Artemis, same thing. So it's like you playing to the machismo, the beat. That's what I'm talking about, playing into that.
Okay.
But you have that, and again, to see him as the lead is going to be the interesting thing. Because he's the lead with Kumail in this. So that's where it's going to be like, okay, let's see what you do now.
I also don't even know, now that I'm thinking about it, if I would say Drax is dumbed down, so to speak. It's more like he looks at the world and he hears things in a different way.
Fair enough, yeah.
Fish out of water.
Compared to what we look at it as and how he acts.
I have a very special place in my heart for Drax.
I'm sorry, because you did give me this look like, how dare you talk about Drax like that? Okay, I'm sorry. He got dusted.
I feel very strongly about Captain Boomerang and Drax.
We see this, and those are two members of two teams you need to step your game up by.
Wait, actually, I have a great Twitter question to address after that. But first, I have plugs for you guys. We have so many plugs. Tomorrow on Collider, you have Collider Live to look forward to, and also Movie Talk and Rule of Two. And on top of that, good thing we have Haleigh on the show today, because she's going to tell you all about tomorrow's episode of The Witching Hour.
Yes. We have yet another pretty packed episode of The Witching Hour. Lots of reviews for you. We dove into our thoughts on The Twilight Zone in a little spoilery detail now that we've seen 2 episodes. We did our spoiler thoughts on Pet Sematary. We did our spoilery thoughts on Sabrina, Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, Part 2, not Season 2, Part 2, now on Netflix. And I shared a little little bit of my thoughts on the deliciously weird film High Life, which is coming to select theaters this weekend and is a head trip for sure. So, and we recapped our visit to I Like Scary Movies, which we talked a little bit about on last week's episode.
It was so much fun.
It's so much fun.
All right. Now to go back to that Twitter question, I was just teasing. Our first question today is from Robert Allen, and Robert tweeted, in Endgame, if you had to pick 2 characters to stay dead, who would they be?
Ooh.
It's so sad, and I'm never picking Drax. Don't pick Drax. You're going to pick Drax. Damn it. I set myself up for this, didn't I?
Yes, you did. Ooh, pick 2 to stay dead. Okay. Damn.
This is so mean. I can't
really
handle it.
See, everybody, no matter what I say, I'm going to get, people going to be angry at this
This
one.
is such an out of character question for me to have picked, but it caught my eye.
Vicious.
Okay. Nope. I can't. Oh, God. I'm just going to take the heat for this one.
Oh, no.
Because I won't say Drax. Okay? Because I won't say Drax. Star-Lord and Mantis. Star-Lord is the reason all this happened. When you think about it, he is the reason for all of this. And Mantis, yeah, I get you putting Thanos to sleep, but, we can do without. And I really wanted to say Drax.
Wow, you just anti-Guardians, man.
I'm not. I love the Guardians. I do.
Do you, though?
Wait,
It sounds like you don't really care for half
Well,
of
hey,
them.
did you see what Star-Lord did? They almost had
Thor
the
was just as bad.
How?
Because he didn't go for the head. He wanted
wasn't-
his revenge. He wanted to savor that moment instead of just killing the guy.
You know what? I give Thor the benefit of the doubt. Okay? He watched him snap his brother's neck. Yeah. Now, however, with Star-Lord, your girl, she dead. I understand that. We can deal with all this later. The gauntlet was on his fingertips. And then he had to hit him in the face with the gun.
No, I feel.
And now everybody's dead.
I don't even know why I'm doing this. I just like to argue. I don't even like Star-Lord. It's like he's funny, but he's not my favorite character.
Are the people who died pre-snap available in this
Because
game?
those would be my picks, actually.
Because one I would probably go for. I guess I'd have to go for Vision.
No.
Yeah.
Vision is
Who'd
actually.
you know?
I'm sorry.
I love Vision.
Who were you going to say?
Heimdall and Loki, they've had enough.
Damn.
I was going to go.
Loki's got a TV show, too. Like, it's
Yeah,
fine.
if Vision was still in play, I would pick Vision, and I would also probably choose Falcon. Because I've had some fun with that role, but not to the point that I feel like super invested in him like I do other characters. It's like, because I love Drax so much, now I can't separate Drax and Mantis, so they both have to come back.
The only reason I'll keep Falcon is because I always believe in the potential of him being Captain America since the comic books. Because there's a toss-up whether it's him or Bucky. They will not let us know. If it's Sam or Bucky, there's precedent for both being Captain America, so I'm going to hold on to Sam Wilson Revolution.
This is an evil question.
That was very evil as a
Sparked
question.
some fun conversations, though.
Yeah, really. All right, this
Somebody
next
said
one
in the
here.
chat, Hawkeye's
Oh, no.
wife.
What happened?
Somebody in the chat said Hawkeye's wife.
Leave Linda Cardellini out of this. She's a saint.
Terrible. I want Linda Cardellini back.
Oh, you are a horrible individual.
All right, we're going to move away from all this death and destruction and go to a question from good old Rocky Drago 66, who asks, thanks to the movie Us, I'll never be able to listen to Good Vibrations the same way again. What songs have you never been able to listen to the same way again, thanks to a certain film or TV show? I've got one from Insidious, and it's not that I ever listened to Tiptoe Through the Tulips ever, like casually, but I will always associate it with that specific movie now.
That's very fair. And
It's super
It was
eerie.
always sort of a creepy song.
Exactly, but then
it's-
it became full-blown creepy.
It's different now. That's a tough question to come
That's a
up.
tough question on the spot.
Yeah,
That's
it
a tough
is.
on the spot question.
Oh, songs that were redefined. I mean, like, I'm not gonna even pretend like I have one just coming to my head right now. I was gonna try to delay and just think of one, and then nothing happened.
Maybe if you deliver a really long that'll give you time to
didn't
think of
work.
something.
This is a good question, though.
It is
I
it
will
is a really good
tweet you
question.
my answer later.
I can go to another one unless you
Yeah,
have something
please,
in your back
because I can't-
pocket, Jay.
Let's go to another one, and maybe I'll think
no.
of it.
Same here.
Okay. This is a tough one, too. This one comes from Nasser, who's asking, hey, guys, do you think that Phil Lord and Chris Miller could work on an MCU project with Marvel, even though it looks like their relationship with Disney is kind of bad after the whole Solo situation? Love you all.
Absolutely. If they can make amends, seeing what they did with Spider-Verse, just on the animated front, I think they could take a lighthearted character and just bring it, just push it over the top. I would love to see Lord Miller doing an MCU movie. I would love to see that.
I would love to see it too, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for them to come back under the Disney
Gunn
realm.
came back.
Well, there's one reason,
Yep.
but also Lucasfilm and Marvel are
Exactly.
different departments.
Yep,
so
absolutely.
there's different heads over there who could say, you know, I don't care what happened there. I want them as part of our team, and I wouldn't blame them. I think they're insanely talented filmmakers.
Because remember, they were going to do The Flash.
Yeah.
At first. So, like, if they were going to do a DCEU film, go ahead, let them do an MCU film. They have the potential to do it either way. And again, like I said, we just saw what Into the Spider-Verse was. So
I think it's for the reason you said, Perry. I think it's totally possible. I mean, they wouldn't be reporting to the people they had problems with. They'd be reporting to Kevin Feige, and you know, he's certainly not without his conflict with directors in the past. We all remember the Edgar Wright Ant-Man scenario, but that's not something super common in Marvel. Where it's been fairly common in Star Wars over the last few years for directors to sort of run into conflict with the creatives there.
yeah, as far as conflict with creatives, yeah. But I mean, they've had their share of one director on board, then another director takes over. Like Ava DuVernay was originally having Black Panther.
Yeah.
And then she was like, well, I don't think creatively I'll be able to do what you all want me to do. So she gave it to Ryan. So
Have you guys thought of a song?
I thought of one. It's not like the answer that's in my heart, but it's true.
Okay.
Which would be Freebird after The Devil's Rejects. Like that. That has been needle dropped in so many movies over the years, and it's now much different connotation for me when I hear it. I just think of death and bloodshed and kind of going out on top in a bad way.
That's a good one. I would also say Highway to Hell.
I was
because of
just about to
Final
say
Destination
Nation.
2.
I was just about to say Highway to Hell.
The second you opened the horror door in my brain, I went even further into it. I feel like there's something else that's really important that I'm
any
not
song
thinking
from
of.
Final Destination, though, because every song, like a roller coaster, will change your entire mind. Now, every time you hear that roller coaster, because first of all, the roller coaster accident, and then the girls
That's
die
a
in the
good one.
tanning booth.
Actually, that movie's got a couple. It also has that There Is Someone.
One
Yes.
behind. They got so many songs in Final
I'm
Destination
surprised
movies.
that's not the first one my mind went to.
Right.
I love that franchise. All right, we got one more question today, and this one is from good old Donnie, who's asking, after CinemaCon showing stuff from It Chapter 2, when do you think that we will finally get a trailer? I thought it was going to happen.
San Diego Comic-Con.
That is so close to release time.
Oh yeah, it surely is. Ooh,
We have to get a teaser before
While you're on
that. You think?
I mean, it's New Line, it's horror,
yeah.
it's the audience
Yeah,
they're
damn, I
going to be
forgot.
marketing
Yeah,
to.
You're probably right on that one.
I guess
makes
timeline
sense.
wise, that would
Yeah.
make the most sense. I thought that they would have gone after the Stephen King connection with Pet Sematary, but La Llorona is part of the same brand.
So that
and
means we
then-
would have to get it officially probably the week of
Right.
La Llorona's, release in theaters.
which is very soon now. I would think we would get a teaser to be attached
Yeah.
to La Llorona and then a full trailer attached to Annabelle Comes Home.
Smart. I like it. It
There it
makes a lot
goes.
of sense.
And then footage at San Diego
Comic-Con.
Comic-Con at
Scare
Diego.
Yep.
We will be
Oh,
there.
no.
Yep.
I love that event.
it's a lot of fun. I wasn't oh-knowing Scare Diego. I was oh-knowing us finishing each other's sentences.
wait, what is
This
Scare
what
Diego?
happens. It's the first night of San Diego Comic-Con. I guess Warner Brothers and New Line have kind of, staked out their night as theirs, and it's basically where they highlight all their upcoming horror films.
How do I get involved in this?
It's great.
I
It's
wanna
a
be
really great night.
Hey, Warner Brothers, listen, email me, tweet me. I want to be a part of this. They had so much energy. I like being scared. Let's do this.
I hope you get to come. It's a very
Yeah.
fun night.
I'm going to be researching the hell out of it as soon as we get off.
Oh, I want to pick so
Excellent.
many more Twitter questions, but that's all the time we have today. We have to say goodbye already. Jay, Haley, as always, you guys rock. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Another round of applause for Adam in the booth back there. You work so hard, and we appreciate you. We also appreciate everybody out there watching this show. As always, please like and share this video, and also tell everybody about Collider Movie Talk in podcast form as well. Thank you guys again for watching today's episode. We will be back 4 p.m. PT live tomorrow for a brand new one.